What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today we are finally getting on the engine prep and the stuff for the LS3G35. You can see we put it on the engine stand. We have the stuff laid out. I'm going to be able to go over everything for you today, let you guys know a little bit about what's going on in this video. We're going to be cleaning this up. There's a lot of crap we have to take off. There is this old harness we're going to take off. I don't know if it's cut, but you can see it's like whooped. Kind of disgusting. We got to take off mounts. We're going to do the pan. We have Canton Racing has the oil pan through ISR with a new pickup. We have a new gasket we'll be putting on. We're also going to be putting on this external like oil filter adapter that will go where the oil filter actually goes here. We have a dipstick. I don't know if we're going to be putting the dipstick on. That might be last, but regardless, in this series, in the build series, we're going to be going over how to measure this because this is a universal one, so they're all different. You can see actually at the end of it there, the dipstick doesn't even stick out. So we're going to have to cut that down. I'm going to go over the plate. I don't know if we're going to be able to put the plate on because I do want to have the engine on the engine stand. And as you guys can see, this actually bolts to where the bell housing goes, and we're not going to bolt it to that plate, only for the fact that I don't want there to be structural weight on that aluminum plate and damage the engine and it fall off and us not be able to complete this. So that being said, yeah, we got some stuff to do. We're also going to be putting the mounts on. I'm going to show you guys how to put the mounts on. We have to tear off the AC compressor, and then Mike might come by a little bit later. I think he wants to change the intake. He has an intake from his LS350Z that's actually ported and stuff. So yeah, you guys know he's going to try and make power on this engine. I don't think he's going to try and make wild power, but it's not going to be stock. You guys already knew that. You don't have to have me tell you that. So anyway, yeah, we have to go over that type of stuff. Yeah, but we're going to be getting into this video. So let's clear this thing out, get it knocked out, and ready for assembly. Oh, one quick thing. So I put it on the engine stand. I want to show you guys, I'm going to go over this several times so you guys can look through these videos and you can see. However, you can see that there's these bolts up here that I replaced. The reason why I replaced these that comes with the ISR kit, they used to look like this. I put them like this because the flywheel on here, after bolting it on, will actually hit this style head. So there's these 4 bolts on the top here you'll replace before you do anything and put a flywheel on. So make sure you guys replace this. Like I said, I'm gonna go over it probably 1 or 2 more times, especially during the assembly when we put the transmission in. I'll make sure I reiterate on that. And the other thing too is the pilot bearing. I installed the pilot bearing already because, as you can see, I can't really get to it while it's up on here, and I didn't want it to be lost. But yeah, you can see it's flush on here. Again, I promise, before I put the transmission in, I'll explain that. I'll explain the direction that it goes and how to install it. So that being said, I wanted you guys to know that the pilot bearing is already in, and I put these on just so that way it's one less step that we have to do, but nonetheless, it's some very important steps. So, okay, enough of me rambling, let's get going. So now the motor is stripped down bare. We took a lot of crap off of this. You can see there's still some stuff to do. As I was going through pulling stuff off, there's a couple things that I was remembering that I need to do that I want to share with you. First thing is this ear right here that's underneath, you actually have to cut off. I'm going to use a grind wheel, cut it off and make it as flush as I can to the pan area, because when you put the new starter in, it actually sits against it. The old starter actually bolts from below. This one's actually going to bolt this way, so you got to cut this ear off. I'm going to do that also first before I take the pan off and do anything with the pan, because I don't want any metal shavings, anything going in it. And if I put the new pan on and then do it, then the outside will just be ugly and disgusting, and you know I don't like anything looking like trash. So I'm gonna make sure that I do it with this part of the pan on first, the old pan, and then we'll take it off, we'll clean everything, and actually, yeah, after I cut this, I think I'm gonna wash the motor down. Another thing you have to do, the dipstick tube hole, there is a tiny little plug that you'll actually press into there. I need to find it. I don't know if the kit came with it, so I might have to run down and get the little plug for it, but you have to plug that off, and then the new dipstick, the one that's the universal, actually goes in the pan. You guys can see right there. So these are the two things on the passenger side that you have to take care of. So we're gonna get started on that, and then yeah, we're gonna keep on going. Okay, so now you can see the ear is nice and flush here. I made plenty of room for the little mini starter that we're gonna put in here. So one thing done, I gotta go to the store, I gotta get the plug for this, but I'm gonna do that in a little bit. We're gonna flip the motor over, we're gonna take the pan off, and we're gonna start cleaning up everything inside and putting the new pan on. You can see this is a rear sump. The one that we're putting on is a front sump. That way it clears the subframe for the G35. Now that all the oil is out of it, now we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna start taking the pan bolts out to put on the new one. Okay, now that we have access to all the 10s, we're gonna take the pan off. We're gonna clean up. Somebody used some of this orange gasket, so it might be a little bit of a pain in the ass to take it off, clean it up, but we're gonna make it right. All right, let's look how this thing looks in here. Oh, not bad. Put this down. Looks clean. As far as you can see, there's no like real dirty spots from like bad old oil. I don't see any metal debris, nothing inside the pickup. Looks good. So now pretty much the hard part is done. All we need to do is just lay the stuff down. I need to clean up some of this like orange crap, get it off, wipe it all down and get it ready for the gasket and put the new pan on. We also have to put the pickup on, and that pickup actually changes location. It actually isn't gonna be over here, so. Windage tray is off. I put the new oil pickup on. You can see that it actually changes. The old one was over here. The new one bolts right here. And also it changes with the, you can still utilize the factory bolt, but on the factory LS one, you can see in there, try and get it for you, the bolt goes on that side. With the new ISR pickup, it actually transfers it to this side. It's already threaded, so you don't have to worry about anything, but you do take the windage tray off, which is really no big deal because this is a baffled oil pan. You can see the little doors in there, so you don't really have to worry about much. This is just for the oil to fall down into. So we're gonna keep it like this. I do have some of this like FIPG, the form in place gasket stuff you guys always hear me talk about. No matter what, even though we do have a gasket for it, where there are breaks in the metal for like different covers, we're gonna put a little bit of it on here, and then we'll put the gasket on and then the pan. So we're cruising right along. Once the pan's on, we're gonna be pretty much done with this. We gotta put the mounts on, and then this is gonna be pretty much ready to go until we get the rest of the stuff for this. Okay, and to show you guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Just a little dab of the silicone gasket on each brake where the two metal pieces come together. So now we will grab this. We're gonna set this down on here, like so, making sure all the bolt holes line up. And now we can set the pan on top. All right, show you guys the final product. Here is the external oil filter housing extension we put on here. There's two O-rings. Make sure the O-rings don't fall out when you put it on there. Utilizes these two bolts that come with it. And then we got all new hardware to go on the pan. Everything tightened down, wipe it down, mwah. And then we're gonna be done with this. So let's flip it back over, show you guys what the engine looks like with it, how it sits, and then we're gonna put the mounts on, and we're gonna wrap this video up because this is gonna be the conclusion for day one for this. Day two is gonna be the transmission and the plate, and then putting the engine together, and day three will be it going in, hooking everything up, trying to get everything situated, and then it's gonna be get the wire harness and the drive shaft and a couple things, and it's gonna be start it up and drive it. So yeah, I'm stoked. This project is finally going underway, finally getting to be, you know, some progress. We got the engine out, we got that out with the quickness, we kind of prepped the engine bay and did that stuff, and then it's kind of been, you know, do the wheels, make it stanced and sit right, but now it's all about the power factory. So let's finish this up, flip this over, we're gonna get the mounts on, and we're gonna get up out of here. All right, engine right side up, mounts on. I already mounted the mounts on here so I can show you the proper way that they go. They are labeled left and right, but the first time we ever did it, and if you haven't seen the video for like when I did Mike's video or I did my own video, go watch them. They're under the playlist. Just go up to the top right here, go to the playlist, watch Mike's install for the LS and watch mine. It's a pretty good series, but we're on to this new series. So when we first started it, we actually put these backwards and the engine sat way far forward. There was so much room in the back. It was hitting where the radiator was at and all that. So I decided to mount them first this time and show you that when you look at them, the front of the engine is right here, that the bar will actually be towards the front of the mount. They do have a right and left on them, this being the right. Anybody that doesn't know working on cars, when you're looking at a car from where the driver's seat is at in America, it is on the left-hand side here, right side here. So if you're sitting in the car this way, left and right. So I'm sure most of you already knew that, but for the ones that don't, there you go. So anyway, this one's the right. So the bar sits towards the front of the motor. And on the other side, if you go to the left side, you can see that the bar sits towards the front of the motor, and that's where it'll sit properly. So the only other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosely put the shackles that the engine mounts sit in here. They're gonna sit in the factory spot where the VQ motor sits. So we're gonna put them in loose. We're not gonna tighten them down because we're gonna need them to move around when we put the engine in. But after that, we're gonna be pretty much done with this for today. All right, real quick to show you, these are the shackles. These are actually the ones that are gonna go through here. Oh, actually, they're gonna go like that through there. And then this bolt will actually go down in through there, through the subframe, and then a washer and a nut will go from under the subframe by where the lower control arm is at, where the factory mounts go from underneath. The nut and the washer will actually be up on there, and this bolt will go through like that. Okay, and so to give you guys one last look at how the shackles are placed here on the subframe, you can see exactly how it is. It's pretty self-explanatory. However, I told you guys that I am going to show you every step of the way with everything being put together, assembled as it's going together. You can see the nut, the washer. So we're gonna leave them loose on here. when we go to set the engine in, we actually will take these bolts out, and then we'll set them in there, and then we'll know that it's going to be able to sit in here after we put the bolts through, rather than trying to put this on the mounts on the engine and trying to match the angle of the subframe. It makes it a little bit easier with them sitting on here and gives us a little bit more wiggle room. So that's it. We are done for today with the engine. I'm enjoying and loving building another LS car. It's kind of cookie cutter. You guys know, you guys have seen us do it a couple times, but if you haven't seen it before, here you go. This is going to be a full walkthrough of the LS build for a G35. It holds true with a 350Z. We're actually using the 350Z kit for most of this. The only thing we really have to change is the wire harness and the drive shaft. So, but yeah, I'm digging it. I hope you guys are digging it too. If you guys do have any questions, any comments, anything you guys know, it's always open door around here. Drop it in the comments below, or hit me on my DM on Instagram, and you know, let me know. Let me know what you guys have to say or think, or if you want to see. Like I always tell you, I try to make this like, you know, community. Like this is why we build this channel. We're building it together. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today. I think I hear somebody pulling up right now. I think they're gonna be buying the exhaust off this car. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Happy Tuesday. Even though it's Monday while I'm recording this, happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Much love to you, your family. I hope you guys have been well. I hope your families have been well, and I will see you in the next video. The next video will be the transmission build, and you know, some of the miscellaneous stuff that we didn't get on here. So anyway, love y'all, much love, peace.